So without further ado, this is 5 self-care tips that actually work. Because we only have one life, and if you're constantly just doing things for other people, doing things to work, doing things to fill other people's cups without filling up your own cup, you are gonna spiral and you are gonna burn out. I still went up, and I was shaking the entire time, but I am just more glad that I did it than the actual if I was good or not. Self-care, self-love, it's an action word, it's a verb. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Kawaii, and today I wanted to do a video that is more helpful for you guys, because I know people have referred to my channel as a mental health or self-care kind of channel, and also I've just been kind of exploring that side of life as well. I guess you could say my entirety of 2024 has just kind of been a journey of self-love, self-acceptance, learning how to take care of myself, manage my time, and basically overall just live the best life that I can. And I thought, what a better idea than to kind of summarize everything that I have learned this year and make it into a video for you guys. So without further ado, this is 5 self-care tips that actually work. So the first self-care tip that I have is to set aside time and schedule time to relax and take time for yourself. Like, let me tell you, as an adult, it is so hard, especially, I don't even have kids yet. Like, how much more for adults who do have kids? Like, being in school, being an adult, having to work, having to pay the bills, having to go grocery shopping, run errands, see people, see family. In all of the chaos of that, when exactly do we have time for ourselves? Something I've learned this year is basically how to avoid burnout. And I know a lot of people, I'm sure, especially if you're in school or especially if you have like a lot going on in your life, you definitely have experienced burnout. And the best way to avoid that is genuinely to let yourself relax, okay? For me, I'm the kind of person who, even when I set aside to relax, I am constantly thinking about YouTube, I'm constantly thinking about work, paying the bills, am I spending enough time with friends? Okay, you know what? You need to just silence all that. Give yourself at least bare minimum 3 hours to just do nothing or do something. Do hobbies. That's another kind of point that goes along with this is hobbies, okay? Indulge in your favorite hobbies and let yourself have time for your old hobbies that you might not have had time for since you were a kid, because we only have one life. And if you're constantly just doing things for other people, doing things to work, doing things to fill other people's cups without filling up your own cup, you are gonna spiral and you are gonna burn out. And the best way to kind of combat that is literally just giving yourself time to relax. Now, what does this look like exactly? So if you guys want to know what I do to relax, is usually I'll schedule myself 1 day a week. For me, that's either Tuesday or Wednesday, just depends on my work schedule. I will literally schedule time to do my self-care routine, have an everything shower. Oh my god, like, I literally look forward to this every single week because it's like my night to relax, okay? Like, I feel good, I'm pampering myself, I feel fresh, okay? After I do that, I let myself either watch Netflix or a show that I really love, or I play a cozy game, or sometimes if I'm feeling a little bit spicy, I don't want to play some Valorant, On the days it doesn't stress me out, okay? Sometimes it does really stress me out, so like I try to play more cozy games because otherwise I end up being more stressed out than I initially was. And each week varies. Sometimes if I'm not really feeling like watching a movie or playing a video game, like maybe I'll draw, or maybe I'll just sit in bed rot for 3 hours, It really depends on what you need, what you feel like you need in that time. And for me, I shut off my phone, okay? Because I am notoriously bad for pushing aside my boundaries, this is something I'm also working on too, is I will shut off my phone, I will turn off my phone, I will put my phone away, I will put it out of sight, out of mind, because if my phone is near me, I'm so tempted to just like start uploading things, start looking at my channel, start like texting people, when it's like this should be really just time to focus and reflect on my own self and spend time with myself. And I think honestly what we really all need in life is to just be able to be comfortable with ourselves and spend time with ourselves. And sometimes, in a world that's so busy and so chaotic and filled with 9-to-5s and having to pay bills, self-care is literally giving yourself time. giving back time to yourself. Numero 2. Okay, so the second self-care tip that I have is being mindful and cautious about what you are consuming in terms of like, what are you eating? Are you hydrating? And taking care of your body, like genuinely taking care of your body. Whether that means going to the gym or even just watching what you eat healthily, I think make sure you're taking care of your body for the right intentions. That is a big thing, okay? Self-care, a lot of people like to frame self-care as looking hot, getting abs, having that body you always desire, which yes, that is important, but you want to make sure you're doing this all with a state of mind that I am okay with no matter what I look like. You want to make sure you're doing this as an act of self-love, as in saying, I love you to myself, like I love me. And part of loving yourself is eating things that are good for you and consuming things that benefit you. So for example, this could be taking vitamins, you know, if you have a vitamin C deficiency, if it's winter, if you need vitamin D, take vitamin D supplements, if you need melatonin, if you struggle to sleep at night, as long as it's like, prescribed by your doctor. This could be eating fruit, eating healthier options. And, that being said, it's not always available for certain people. Like, I work at McDonald's, okay? And McDonald's, I like their food, but it doesn't exactly have the most healthy options. So I would say work with what you got, because sometimes if you don't have the opportunity, you kind of have to create the opportunity. Like for me, I tend to just eat grilled chicken there if it's fresh. If the grilled chicken looks good, I'll probably eat that. But also being mindful of how much you're eating could also mean not overeating, but only eating till you feel satiated, not full. And that is a big misunderstanding, but that could be a whole other separate video if you guys want me to make a video on that. Hydrating. Oh my god, make sure you guys are hydrating, okay? You know what? For the longest time, ever since I was a kid, probably until I was like 19, I did not drink water. And that sounds absolutely morbid, okay? You're probably like, ew, Kawa, what the hell? You know what? That's probably why my acne was bad. That's probably why I was tired all the time, why my skin was oily, why my hair was oily, okay? If you aren't hydrating, it's gonna show. And surprisingly, I don't know why I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but that's something I want you guys to know, is that if you drink water, your overall appearance looks better. And I know I was saying this shouldn't be about like the way you look, but also the way you feel. You know what I mean? Like if you feel gross, if you feel like, yeah, I feel oily, I feel greasy, I feel like my lips are chapped, they're uncomfortable, life is gonna feel so much more stressful. And self-care is all about making life so much more relaxing for yourself. And so when you hydrate, it shows, and you will feel like a better version of yourself. And oh my god, let me just say, I still hate drinking water, okay? I have tried the Hydro Flask, I'm trying the Stanley Cup right now, okay? I have tried drinking cold water, blah blah blah. I'm still trying to figure out how to make it better for myself, alright? Sometimes you just gotta power through. But I will say, once you do start drinking water, you will start to crave water. After a couple days. It's really weird how that works. It's like your mind usually will go to like, oh, I'm hungry, but it's really just you're thirsty, but then your brain will sort of make that connection a bit more. I'm not a scientist, okay? I'm just saying this based on my own experience. But yeah, once you are like used to drinking water, your body's gonna be like, where's this water? I need more. And then you're actually gonna want to drink water. It's really weird how that works, like psychologically. Number 3. Okay, so the next self-care tip I have is to pick your pain. And when I say pick your pain, you're probably thinking, Kawa, what are you talking about? I thought we're trying to self-care here, okay? Pain is self-care sometimes. No pain, no gain. You know that saying? When I say pick your pain, there's this saying, I don't remember where I heard it. I'm pretty sure it was a podcast that I was listening to, but basically, this guy explains that you gotta pick your pain in the sense of, you can either pick the pain of getting up early, showing up, being kind of miserable in that moment, maybe being a little too tired, maybe not taking that nap, maybe not going out with friends, maybe, pushing yourself to do the things that you should be doing. You can have that pain, or you can avoid all that, indulge in the things that you want to indulge in that aren't good for you, and have the pain of regret. And after hearing that, I thought that put things into perspective really well. Because, sometimes when I get up and, I know I have to film, like for example today, sometimes I don't want to do it, okay? I don't want to get up, I don't want to put on makeup, I don't want to look cute, okay? I don't want to put on the camera, I don't want to put on the lights, I don't want to do any of that, But I know in the back of my mind, I do want to do all those things, okay? Like, it's just in the moment of getting yourself to actually get up and move. There is also this trick that you can use if, like, you're lying in bed and, you need to get up and you really don't want to get up. You just count 3, 2, 1, and then you gotta shoot up, okay? Sometimes I do that, and I remember at sleepovers, like, whenever I'd, like, just shoot up, my friends would be like, are you good? Hello? Like, what? And I'm like, don't worry, I kind of have to do this because I gotta leave. I go to the bathroom because otherwise I am never getting out of that bed, okay? And along with that is showing up for yourself, okay? You guys show up for yourself, because unless you have like a personal trainer or like an assistant, which 99% of us don't, no one's gonna make you do things other than yourself. And you just gotta remember, I feel like you just gotta see yourself as another person sometimes. And that sounds, confusing maybe, but by that I mean, let's say you had a friend who had this really important passion or event or thing that they needed to be at, and they needed you to be there. You would show up for them, assuming you're a good person. You would show up for them. But why wouldn't you do that for yourself? Sometimes you just gotta put things into perspective by being like, well, I would do this for a friend. Why am I not treating myself like I'm my own friend? When people say that you should be in a relationship with yourself, I definitely think it's in the sense of like, you need to treat yourself how you would treat another person. Like with respect, with honor, and, with kindness. I don't know why so many of us put ourselves down or think we have to be, so hard on ourselves. Maybe it's like, the idea of being humble, but bro, being humble is not being self-derogatory, okay? It is so different. Anyways, kind of going along the lines of, respecting yourself and all of that. Number 4 is you guys need to respect your boundaries. Upholding and respecting your own boundaries, okay? I feel like a lot of you guys are probably coming to this video thinking I'm gonna give you guys like skincare routines or, like fitness things or, whatever. But I truly think that self-care starts inward. And until you start to figure yourself out on the inside, you cannot work. Don't even bother thinking about the outside, okay? With that said, continuing on with number 4, upholding your boundaries, okay? Your needs and your responsibilities are important, okay? I know so many people who push their boundaries for the sake of another person or for the sake of their friends. And sometimes you might have to a bit. Let's say your friend is in dire need, maybe they just got heartbroken. That is an acceptable time to kind of be like, okay, I can hold back what I'm doing to be there for them. If you absolutely can't, then you absolutely can't. But you got to realize that, in other normal situations, let's say your friends are like, let's go out, and you're like, I told you I'm busy already. You need to uphold your boundaries. Part of self-care is respecting yourself, right? It means doing things necessary to keep yourself afloat, okay? I can count so many times where, I have pushed aside my responsibilities because I was like, well, I don't want to disappoint this person, or I don't want them to think that I don't want to be around them. But realistically, life is gonna go on, okay? Until you are taking care of yourself first, you cannot take care of other people. So self-care tip number 5 is challenging yourself to do uncomfortable things and pushing yourself to go beyond what you normally would do every day. What do I mean by that exactly is, let's say you have always wanted to go do karaoke at this one bar. Let's say you always wanted to go ask out that cute guy that you found attractive. Let's say you wanted to go get that girl's number, or start that YouTube channel, or film in public when you're not used to doing that, okay? I want to challenge you guys to do things that make you uncomfortable, because the best experiences come from when we try to level ourselves up as a person. This is coming from, and maybe you're just watching this video like, Kawa, what the heck do you mean, bro? I'm too shy, I can't do that. Nuh-uh. Girl, you're only as shy as you tell yourself you are. And that is coming from someone who used to literally never speak to anybody, okay? I used to do the thing where I would walk around like this because I hated my hands, okay? I don't know why. I know why, but that's a whole other... I was so insecure about my hands, okay? I would wear my hair like, like all emo and stuff like that. I genuinely... I didn't have any self-confidence, okay? But literally, the best way to have self-confidence is to start doing things that make you uncomfortable and doing things that you wouldn't normally do, because that means you are growing as a person. That means you are changing the narrative of who you are. It's so much easier said than done, but really, it's easy. Literally, just go outside. If you don't normally go outside, just start with that. Start with something small, okay? Like, let's say you never go outside, just go on a walk. In my own experience, that started with me talking to people. It started with introducing myself first, which that terrified me, okay? I had the worst anxiety when it came to talking to people. Like, my hands would be sweaty. My hands are sweating right now, just thinking about it. But, like, trust me, it gets so much easier. The more you challenge yourself and the more you put yourself out there, the easier it becomes, and the more you get kind of like used to doing it. You're just kind of like doing it like that, you know? You know what I did that kind of helped give me a confidence booster? I can't guarantee it'll work for everyone because I think I just kind of lucked out, but the guys that I liked in high school, okay, I never thought I had a chance with them, okay, because like I said, my self-esteem was absolutely in the gutters, okay? But anyways, I hit them up later in life because I'm like, I'm not seeing anyone, why not? Let's just see. 2 or 3 of them actually liked me back, or were interested enough to kind of pursue that relationship. And, you know, for the longest time, I didn't think I could get cute guys, if that makes sense. That sounds so weird because, like, you know, probably like, oh, well, you have a symmetrical fit. Well, actually, my face is not that symmetrical, okay? If you look at certain angles, it's not that best, okay? But, you know, overall, I have a very, you know, gonna be unhumble for a minute, I have a very decent face. And for a while, I didn't, okay? For a while, I was really chubby, and my hair was short. And before that, I had a big forehead. So I didn't think I could get anyone. That's not the point. The whole point is, I started with that, and then when I went to this new workplace, that I decided I'm gonna go for manager, and I told them, and that was something that, like, I never thought I would even mutter the words. And I also made new friends there. Like, I put myself out there, which I don't normally do. I introduced myself. I asked them to hang out, which, like, usually I wait for other people to ask me to hang out because that's the thing. I feel like we all just assume, like, they don't want to hang out with me, it's not like they're asking me, but girl, you could just ask them. If they don't want to hang out, they can say no. But if they want to, then yo, like, look at you go. Like, you just made plans. Like, putting myself out there resulted in me going to this Halloween dance and going on the dance floor and going in the middle of the circle. I remember so many times in high school and elementary school when those circles would form, I really so desperately wanted to go in them and dance and be in the spotlight, but I was just terrified, so I never ended up doing it. But yeah, after doing that, I ended up going up for karaoke, which I have never sung in front of people in my life other than, you know, vocal class, and I always thought I was terrible. But, like, even though I think I'm not that great, you know, comparatively to other people who are really good at singing, I still went up, and I was shaking the entire time, but I am just more glad that I did it than the actual if I was good or not. I think once you stop focusing on how the situation would go and focus more on the fact that you actually did something, I think it becomes so much easier to take action, okay? And like I said, just start with the little things, okay? Like, even going out, going shopping by yourself, being alone. I know so many people struggle with being alone. If you can figure out a way to be on your own, do things on your own, your confidence will go so much more higher. Do little things to kind of give yourself that self-assurance. The more self-assurance you have, the more confidence you will have in yourself to be able to do things on your own. And I made like a whole video on that, basically. I took myself out on a date, and I remember, oh my god, I had so many grocery bags, and I was like, I didn't want to pay for an Uber, but I was like, I could easily ask my friend to drive me maybe, but I was like, no, bro, I want to do this on my own. I need to prove to myself that I can do this if I didn't have anyone in my life. And let me just say how powerful that felt. When you give yourself the power and you tell yourself you have the power to push through and do things that make you uncomfortable and do things on your own and, you know, rely on yourself, that, oh my god, that gives you so much power and so much more confidence. And so I highly recommend doing that. I definitely don't recommend maybe carrying like 3 or 4 bags of heavy groceries a couple streets down from a bus stop, but I definitely think you should push yourself to do uncomfortable things within your limits, obviously. Like I said in the last point, boundaries, right? Within your reasonable limits, okay? Don't do things that are gonna actually like hurt you or whatever. But yeah, start with the small things. It could be going outside, it could be making a YouTube video, it could be auditioning for that play that you really wanted to do. It could be saying hello to someone that you've never said hello to. It could be introducing yourself to, you know, the guy, the girl that you like or person, or, you know. I am a firm believer that self-care takes practice. It is an act. It's a verb, okay? Self-care, self-love, it's an action word. It's a verb. It's something you do. It's something you are consistently doing. It's not something you just obtain. It's not something you just learn on the fly. It's something you have to keep practicing at, and the more you practice, the better you get at it, and the better you get at it, the more you can explore different kinds of self-care. And then one day you wake up and then you have all these different tools of self-care that you can rely on. And honestly, I think in a world where a lot of our mental health is kind of, having those tools can be very, very helpful and kind of help you have a bit more optimism in life. and I think we all deserve to have a little bit more optimism here. Anyways, this has been the video. If you guys have any other self-care tips you would like to mention, please leave a comment down below. I would love to read them. Let me know what you guys do to kind of implement that self-care mentality, and let me know if you have any questions regarding any of the points that I said. And if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the bell notifications. It helps me keep this channel afloat, and if this channel is afloat, that means more videos for you guys. So anyways, this has been Kawaii, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. I don't know what that was.